Hi guys, I miss you all, but here we are again talking about reading through a video. Um, today's lesson, or this week's lesson for the week of April 27th is Readers Learn Lessons. So here's a little chart in the Schoology folder. And before we start reading, I want to point one thing out. This one down here says predict the lesson right from the start. So that means the first couple pages of your book, you might be thinking, making some guesses what you think this character might learn, what lesson they might learn. So last week we read Pig the Pug. Today we're reading Pig the Stinker. So same character, we already know a little bit about him. We might want to think about what lesson he's going to learn in the first couple pages, and then we'll come back and kind of talk about some of the other things too. All right. So Pig the Stinker. Pig was a pug, and I'm sorry to say his personal hygiene was far from okay. Whew. Pig really liked to get dirty. He frankly was rank. His paws could be frightful. His fur often stank. Wow, that's pretty dirty. He wasn't offended by odor or smell, and if you weren't careful, he'd smell you as well. He'd play with all kinds of unspeakable muck. Ugh. And do things to make you scream, "Don't do that, yuck!" He leaked out a stench that could not be forgotten. He reeked, he was rancid, in short, he was rotten. Oh man, see, that's Trevor. We remember Trevor, right, from the last book. So bath time was called. You stinky old mutt, you need a good clean from your ears to your, you know what. He does need a bath too, look. Whew. But Pig turned his tail, and before you could grab it, he was out of that room like a foul little rabbit. They chased him, but Pig had a devious knack for ducking and weaving and doubling back. Ooh, they're having trouble catching him. And once he had lost them, he used a small toy to block up the pipes. Then he hooted with joy. By the time they had found him, Pig boogied with glee. You won't get your soapy old water on me. Because he clogged the pipes so they can't get the water out of the bathtub anymore. They watched as Pig gloated. They watched as Pig crowed. He's so happy, so proud of himself. They watched as Pig's plan made the bathroom explode. So he stuck that in the pipes and he made the bathroom explode. Oh, goodness. These days it's different, I'm happy to say. If you tell Pig it's bath time, he won't disobey. But although you can wash him with soap, cloth, and towel, there's no getting around it. Pig was just foul. And I think by that, they're not saying he's smelly, but he has a bad attitude, that's for sure. All right, so let's talk about the other ones. Hopefully towards the beginning of the book, you were thinking about what lesson Pig might learn. The other thing you can do for in order to learn some lessons from the books you read is reread the ending and think, how did that trouble get fixed? So remember, they could not get Pig to get in the bath. Now, how did that trouble get fixed? Well, he exploded the bathroom, right? And that didn't work. He couldn't get out of his bath by exploding the bathroom. So now he has to actually get baths, doesn't he? He's in the bathtub at the end. The next one says, think, what did the character realize or learn? So what did Pig learn? He was trying to get out of getting in the bath. He tried to do that by sticking things in the water pipe, right? And that didn't work because, again, the bathroom exploded. So he learned that you can't get out of taking your bath. He learned You just have to do it, right? He didn't love it. He's in there. He's not happy about it, but he learned you just have to take a bath when you're smelly. So maybe that's something you guys can learn too. Hopefully you're not like Pig the pug though. So we predicted our lessons from the start already. Now this last one says compare and contrast books. So these two books could be good ones to compare and contrast, right? They're different, but they have the same character. You can think what's the same about these books and what's different. So I would say, what's the same about these books? Well, Pig is pretty stubborn. He doesn't want to do what he's supposed to do. He doesn't want to share. He doesn't want to take his bath. But in the end, he does kind of figure out that he needs to do what's right. The lessons he learns are different though, right? They're not the same. This one's about sharing. This one's about taking a bath. So that's what's different about them. But if you compare other books too, they might not have the same character like those two did. They might be totally different books, but sometimes there's still some things that are the same about them. So you can compare and contrast those kind of books. You could compare and contrast your book to one of the ones I read this week or last week also. That's also an option. Okay, so you can think about the lessons that the characters learn, and you can learn from them too. Like you could learn from Pig's mistake. Pig's mistake of not sharing his toys. He fell out the window and got really hurt, and now he had to share his toys, right? So maybe that's a good lesson to learn, that maybe it's just easier to start off sharing, right? And same with the bathtub lesson. Maybe it's just easier to do what you're supposed to do. When he exploded the bathroom, he made a big problem. Okay, so if he would have just taken the bath to begin with, he wouldn't have had that problem. So those are some examples of some lessons that you can learn from the books you're reading too. So I want you to try that with some of the books that you read this week and see if you can learn lessons. Make sure it's a fiction book. And the scholastic books would work too. The fiction stories will usually have some kind of lesson. So see if you can find that on your own this week. All right, we'll see you guys later.